softened him up pretty good. Remember me?
Sure. You're the party girl we had all those nice games with. Hey, what's she up to, huh? You know who I am.
Of course. You're the party giver.
What is this, about money? Is that what this is? Yeah, sure it is. You know what, just take the 50, huh? Take it for Christ's sake.
This is about love. This isn't about money. I hope I sharpened these enough. Let's see.
Hey.
Guess they're sharp enough.
Hey, wait. Hey.
Look, there's a little tiny cut right on the envy of all mankind.
The movie begins in Las Vegas at a nightclub where Nick Wilde is enjoying a drink. Shortly afterward, a woman named Doris enters the club and captures his attention as she takes a seat at her table. Moments later, a man named Osgood arrives for a date with Doris, who had arrived earlier. To their surprise, Nick approaches them and asks Doris to dance with him. He begins mocking Osgood and even pulls off his wig, but Doris quickly escorts Osgood outside to prevent him from being beaten. Despite this, Nick continues his mockery, while Osgood assures Doris that he can handle Nick despite appearing too old to fight. Osgood suddenly retrieves his wig from Nick and warns him before delivering a punch that knocks him to the ground, greatly impressing Doris. He forces Nick to apologize, which he does, and Doris rushes out of the car to embrace Osgood, calling him her hero. The scene then shifts to a woman being dropped off outside a hospital. When a doctor steps outside for a cigarette, he notices her. The medical staff attend to her and attempt to learn what happened, but the only name she mentions is Nick. The following morning, Nick, a Las Vegas bodyguard with exceptional combat skills and a gambling problem, wakes up and heads to work. Shortly afterward, a young man named Cyrus Kinnick arrives looking for him. Cyrus explains that he would like to hire Nick as a tour guide during his visit to Las Vegas, having received a recommendation from a neighbor. Interested in gambling, Cyrus says he wants Nick's services because some people might disrespect him due to his young age. Nick agrees to show him around Las Vegas and provide protection while he gambles. Later, Nick meets with Osgood, and it is revealed that they are close friends and that the earlier fight was staged to impress Doris. Osgood pays Nick $500, along with an additional $500 bonus for his performance, but Nick declines the bonus. Nick then visits a diner, where he tells his waitress friend, Roxy, that he needs $500,000 to leave Las Vegas and retire in Corsica for 5 years. Roxy gives him a message from a woman named Holly, who wants him to stop by her house. Upon arriving, Holly, who turns out to be the woman left at the hospital, rushes out to hug him. Holly, a professional escort, tells him what happened to her the previous night at the Golden Nugget Hotel. She explains that she encountered 3 unknown men in an elevator who forced her to accompany them to their room. The man who appeared to be their leader assaulted her first, after which the other 2 men did the same before abandoning her outside the hospital. She offers Nick $100 for the first hour of work to help identify them, so she can sue them. Nick advises her to contact a lawyer or private investigator, but Holly cannot understand why he refuses to help. Having spent time at the Golden Nugget, Nick explains that organized crime operates there and reminds her that he had previously warned her to stay away from the hotel. It is revealed that the hotel's owner, Baby, once tried to recruit Nick, but he declined, and the two agreed not to interfere in each other's affairs. Nick visits a housekeeper named Millicent for information, and the two arrange to meet. She reveals that the man responsible is Danny DeMarco, the son of a mob boss from southern Italy, and provides the room number. She also asks Nick not to interfere with Danny. Afterward, Nick calls Holly and tells her that he was unable to obtain any useful information from the housekeeper. Holly immediately realizes that he is withholding information and reminds him how much support she has given him in the past, asking him to do the same for her. That evening, Nick meets Cyrus and takes him on a tour of various casinos around Las Vegas. However, Nick remains preoccupied with thoughts of Holly. As many of the casinos are crowded, Nick takes Cyrus to his favorite spot. Cyrus attempts to learn more about him, but Nick avoids the conversation. Cyrus heads to the gambling tables while Nick waits nearby, but Holly's final words continue to weigh heavily on his mind. Eventually, he leaves Cyrus at the casino and drives to Holly's house, where he reveals the man's identity. Nick soon realizes that Holly has no intention of filing a lawsuit. Instead, she admits that she wants revenge for what happened to her. She asks Nick to attack the men and weaken them so she can take her revenge afterward. Nick drives to the Golden Nugget and confronts Danny while pretending to have been sent by Baby. Danny's bodyguards allow him entry after confirming that he has been thoroughly searched. Nick questions Danny about what happened to Holly. Arrogantly, Danny dismisses her as a prostitute. He assumes Nick is her pimp, but Nick shows him his credit card to prove otherwise. Nick then requests to leave, but Danny informs him that he will not be allowed to go so easily. Danny orders Nick to entertain him if he wants to be spared, but Nick refuses. Danny then commands his men to teach him a lesson. A fight erupts, and Nick uses his credit card as a weapon while defending himself against Danny's men. Danny attempts to shoot him, but Nick avoids the bullets, knocks him down, and ties everyone up. Nick then calls Holly, who asks Danny whether he remembers her. When she picks up a pair of scissors, Danny becomes terrified and offers her $50,000 from his safe if she agrees to leave. Holly hands the money to Nick and contemplates castrating Danny while demanding an apology. Realizing how serious she is, Danny breaks down and begs for forgiveness. Holly ultimately spares him and leaves with the money. As they depart, Nick advises Holly to leave town because Danny's associates will undoubtedly come after them. They split the $50,000 equally, and Nick heads to a casino. He begins playing blackjack with his dealer friend Cassandra and quickly feels that luck is on his side. He wins his opening bet and continues an impressive winning streak until the dealer's shift changes. Once Cassandra leaves the table, Nick decides to stop playing and goes to meet Cyrus. Moments later, however, he feels his luck has not run out and returns to the table, increasing his wagers. He continues winning, attracting the attention of the pit boss and numerous spectators. His winnings surpass $500,000, and he successfully wins one final hand. Nick later has a drink with Cyrus, who asks about his future plans. Nick explains that he intends to retire. As he prepares to cash out his winnings, he suddenly suffers an anxiety attack. Convinced that $500,000 is not enough, he decides to continue gambling, believing his luck remains strong. He places his entire $500,000 fortune, along with the $25,000 he received from Holly, on a single bet. Unfortunately, he loses everything, leaving him devastated. Overcome with regret and depression, he turns to alcohol and eventually loses consciousness. The following day, Nick wakes up to find Cyrus nearby. Cyrus explains that he passed out and that the casino staff assisted him after Cyrus tipped them. Cyrus then reveals that he wants Nick to teach him how to be brave and how to fight. It is also revealed that Cyrus is a self-made millionaire who offers to make Nick wealthy in exchange for his mentorship. Nick declines the proposal and heads downstairs for a drink. Shortly afterward, Danny's men arrive to bring him back to Danny, and a fight breaks out in the bar. Nick brutally defeats them, taking advantage of the opportunity to release his pent-up frustration. As the fight continues, the police arrive and intervene. Nick is then taken to the Golden Nugget to meet Baby, the Las Vegas mafia boss. Baby informs him that he has received a complaint accusing Nick of breaking into a room and killing two men, with Danny serving as the witness. Baby brings Nick and Danny together so they can settle the matter. Danny describes how violently Nick attacked them and claims that Nick murdered his bodyguards. Nick tells his version of events, and it becomes clear that he does not kill people with guns, suggesting that Danny is framing him. Nick mentions 2 cuts on Danny's private area, prompting Baby to ask Danny to drop his pants and prove Nick wrong. Danny refuses, leading Baby to conclude that Nick attacked them for a reason. He convinces Danny that he will handle the matter personally. After Danny leaves, Baby informs Nick that retaliation is inevitable, although Nick firmly maintains that he did not kill Danny's bodyguards. Later, Nick visits the diner for a meal. While Cyrus sits beside him, Nick admits that he is afraid to leave Las Vegas because he is a coward. Cyrus thanks him for everything he has learned and presents him with $500,000 and a plane ticket to Corsica. Suddenly, Danny's men arrive at the diner. Cyrus creates a distraction by singing, giving Nick an opportunity to escape. The men pursue him outside, and Danny orders them to search everywhere for him, unaware that he is nearby listening. Nick eventually confronts them armed only with utensils from the diner. After eliminating all of them, Cyrus approaches and once again offers him the $500,000 check and the plane ticket to Corsica. At first, Nick refuses the gifts, but after Cyrus persists, he accepts them and decides to leave Las Vegas before Danny's father can seek revenge, bringing the movie to an end. Thanks for watching. Please like this video and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Your support really helps us grow and bring you more amazing content.